in the mix.
Pika.
Marinamo, Toketoma, Imane Kari, Made, Abia de Yona do for the Abidjan, when I'm buying your sweater, but you're so happy. engagement de bonne meo. Tu as noté de bonne meo. De mari que chloromi de bonne meo. Et à Jesse Rati de wewe de gars. À ce moment pour le jardin de wewe de vieux. So adieu wewe. Susanna Timothy, yekele tapi apolu. Sabe de elo, responsable. Ajama jamai. Nyok ma ble nyon tie mo ble nyon we. Atodui, yekele bi apolu. Federa mo we wo. Federa mo we wo. Begina ona begigo nyao. So adieu wo.
Welcome on the official news outlet of the Liberia Public Radio.com, LPR. Welcome on the official news outlet of the Liberia Public Radio.com, LPR. Welcome on the official news outlet of the Liberia Public Radio.com, LPR.
Testing.
Onana ayama lokolo mwane sikolo mwaye posane kribuya moreu lokolo toliye bolu suku ogere yo amaya lokolo kete swalo idoro.
Don't disrespect me because I get on papa. You will not disrespect because you see me the papa. Don't disrespect me because I get on papa. You will not disrespect because I will on donga. We not build but we can make it happen. We not millionaire, but we can keep it popping. We not build we can make it happen. We not millionaire, but we can keep it popping. I go, back then I go, in the buildings on me. Back then I go, in the buildings on me.
Welcome, folks. Samson to Liberian Public Radio. I want to welcome all of you again tonight. We're going to be rocking it. It's going to be a very, very, very emotional one here tonight. We're going to push the envelope a little bit when we will be contacting you, opening up the line here for the car discussion. But before that, I will lay out the premise and lay out my own view as well. So please, just stay with us. Safety. I have not done safety for a very, very long time. But I'm going to start again. But, first thing first, I want to thank God for this wonderful day. It's a Memorial Day. And all of those brothers and sisters, mother, fathers that passed, we honor them on this day, of course. And so my topic here tonight, folks, is a very emotional one. It's about the civil war crime court, not civil, but war crime court that people have been talking about. And my question out tonight. And I will try to lay out all of what I believe. Now, what I believe does not necessarily mean what you believe. But I ask you to give me the opportunity to lay out my case, and then you can challenge me. Hopefully, you will tell me in many areas here tonight where I'm wrong, because that's the only way we're going to be able to understand each other. And these things are very, very, very emotionally packed. You can't just get on wrong with it. And so I will do my best here tonight. At the end of this conversation, I hope what I'm hoping to come away with this particular topic tonight is a peaceful conversation. So we will find reason to see, even if it is possible to do this, and what are some of the ramifications that we might face. It's time to start that discussion. Samson told Liberian Public Radio. But as usual, before I start my program, we have a Samson told Liberian Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again for joining me this evening. The show is going to be rocky. The show is not the voice of emotion. Emotion is going to be running high here this evening. My pitch of voice is going to be changing from time to time. And sometimes I will hit on a particular subject matter that might be hitting home, very close to home. And my voice might be a little bit raised because of the emotion. You know what I'm talking about. But I will do my best to make sure that this platform always carry itself as the Liberian platform, where there is no insult, where there is no fear or whatsoever. We actually express ourselves, but we do it with respect. And this is the platform to come to. Liberian Public Radio, Samson to Liberian Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again. Let's start the process as usual. Before that, let's go on and see who are we here with this evening. Dr. Weir is going to be, this is Dr. Weir, folks, Samson Tola, he's our president. And so when we're discussing any national issues, what are going to be happening or what have you, but as long as the issue affecting what I think, affecting Liberians, he going to be at the head of this table, and he must be put at the head of this table. Folks, that's Dr. Weir, President Weir, President of the Republic of Liberia, a very young man who has done some wonderful things for the country, but yet still people are not that much happy. But I'm not going to talk politics yet tonight. Well, I'm going to come down to it. This coming Wednesday, let me just lay out flat out, those who have been accusing me of being CDC sympathizer, this coming Wednesday, I think you will have a change of mind, because what is happening with the road condition, Michael, I will go deep into it again as usual, and then bring out some of the things. And I think perhaps people are going to say, oh, yeah, we thought you were CDC sympathizer. What happened? Well, nothing. I'm just going to be truthful. That's all it is. That's all counts. Let's go. This is also Dr. Weah during the campaign. And the reason why I continue to play this video, folks, is because I truly believe that Dr. Weah will continue to do what he has to do to make the country connected, to have all of the road connectivities in Liberia become real, not just something that we talk in extra, whatever you want to call it, but it's real. And I think he's doing it, except he's doing most of it in the city side. And then you can question that. Other people term that as being a politically motivated road construction, or whatever politics road, or whatever they want to call it. But if this road is there for people to drive on, to walk on, it's something. I, as an engineer, do not think that the road construction in Liberia is good. The quality of work is not good. The idea is there, but the quality of work is not good. And they are proving themselves over and over and over for them not to provide good quality of work. And that, nobody don't even try to challenge me on that. But let's move on. That's not about it. Let me play the video of Dr. Weah again, walking during the election, walking in the mud of Liberia. This is the first mud. Second mud, we're in third mud now. Third time people walking in the mud. The first time he did, and when I thought by now people will not be walking in the mud. Last year people were walking in the mud. This year people are still walking in the mud. The same mud Dr. Weah experienced. I think perhaps we need to remind him about his experience walking in the mud, what it felt like. It's still happening in our country. It's still happening in the countryside. The countryside that Dr. Weah went to visit and decided no more car. I'm going to walk to feel exactly how these brothers and sisters in the interior feel. Dr. Weah, the problem still exists. In fact, most people will argue that the problem has become more difficult than it was when you walked the mud. So let's now watch Dr. Weah, folks. We will continue to remind he's our president. We must do so with respect, but we will continue to remind him. Let's watch Dr. Weah in the mud of the Republic of Liberia. Folks, Samson to Liberian Pub Radio.
Let's make sure you do that same thing for you can hold. You know what it is. You are on the shoulder run, you must stay. We're going to junior that before. No, I beg you.
I'll go.
Let's make sure you do that same thing for you can hold. will not hold the stage. I don't need show the word. You must stay. We're going to junior Latte before.
Folks, there you have it. That was Dr. Weir, and as usual. Like I said, that's Dr. Weir, as usual. And so you saw that walking in the mud, but we have to remind him. Before I go on to my main subject matter here tonight, let me just play a little bit more music here for you, because I have this music going to set the tone here tonight as you're going to be writing and replying each other and what have you. Let me set the tone, please, with this music. Let's listen. Okay, folks, Samson told LIBERIA Public. I want to thank all of you again this evening. The music tells us, let's respect each other. Don't disrespect me. I will not disrespect you either. We're not millionaires, but we can make this thing happen. First thing is this. We have to understand. Liberia is all we have. You can make all your millionaire, you want to be, live in the most advanced country in the world. Every night, most of the time, most of you dream and you're in Liberia. Just like myself, one night I go to sleep, and the next thing I know, I'm in Montpellier. Okay, I'm here to visit, telling the people in Montpellier I'm here to visit. And then I started going back into the way in the forest. I could hear the monkey sounds and all that kinds of good stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is just a visit, Samson. You're going to be going back. And then when I got back on the motor road, no car. The road was messed up. I can't travel. And I'm like, I'm stuck here. Ah, my goodness. How am I going? Then I said, I got to wake up. Then I woke up. But I bet you probably have the same experience as well. Folks, I'm just making fun of it. But seriously, this is all we have. This is all we have. Let me now go start the program tonight again. Folks, as Samson told LIBERIA Public, I want to thank all of you again. For all I ask is that we respect each other. Give me the opportunity to make my case, and then you will make your case as well. Don't agree with me. Far from it. Disagree with me. Excuse me. Disagree with me, but whenever we do, let us do it with respect. Samson told LIBERIA Public. Let me go on to my first subject matter here tonight, folks. Samson told, this is a very serious one. This is, I'm just going to touch on this here a little bit, not by much. This was the election that was held, rerun, and Madame Yuri, folks, this lady, once again, in my opinion, this lady has shown to us, Liberians, that if you men can't handle it, let's pass this thing on to women. If we can't lead, let the women come and lead us. Because they continue to demonstrate to the world and to us Liberians that they have the sophistication. Look what she did. Hours before they finish counting everything. As long as her poor washer were being truthful, she trusted them. And when they told her that this thing is not going well, because even in fight, before going into the second round, before going to the rerun, she knew exactly that area was not her stronghold. She knew exactly that was Abu Kamara area. However, she decided she's going to challenge her because she felt something was wrong. It's a system she intended to fix, not necessarily to win the election, but to fix the system. And that system was challenged, and that system crumbled, and that system really result that all of us thought that the result was needed. But going into the rerun, she knew exactly that area was not her area. Anybody that don't think like that, then perhaps you are not watching. Okay, that was a stronghold for Abu Kamara. There's no question eyes. So by her challenging that, it showed two things. First, she has courage. And many Liberians were not able to understand that. They decided, some of the people decided to gravitate towards violence, and that was deplorable. That's something that all of us should say, no more. She stood that, understood it exactly. The question that I was asking myself was this. I, Samson, told my daughter Beatrice or my daughter Bena is in a race in Monrovia. And I'm hearing on Facebook, I'm hearing on the radio that my daughter is stuck, cannot get out of the building. Are you kidding me? Then I'm going to be quiet? No, I'm going to raise my, especially if I had the kind of money that her father had. I'm going to raise my army and we're going to go over there and get my daughter. Are you kidding me? You're going to be blocking my daughter coming out, and then look at what happened to her car. That was very, very much, that's something that we should not accept, whether you're sedition, whatever you are. That was wrong. And I take my hat up to Mr. Ure for being calm, because the situation could have turned worse. That's her daughter. And people are saying she is stuck. But yet still, people were watching his reaction. If he had taken the lead to say, I'm going to go get my daughter, there were many supporters that were going to go with him to go get the girl. And what would have happened? So I want to take my hat off to the Ure again this evening. So say thank you very much for being calm, for showing us Liberians how to get out of a situation without resulting into any violence. I really appreciate that. Now let's go back to this young lady, folks. And I'm Samson Toe. I keep telling you, people don't want to listen, but I say the truth. This young lady has put all Liberians lady on the map once again. And I'm saying that again, if we cannot lead, we're going to be stepping over it. Who digging wall, the hole the digging are stepping. If we're all men gonna be stepping over that, the women said, dig the hole, I will fill it so my people can cross. There will be no more hole left for anybody to jump over. That's what these ladies are telling us. They have the ability to pluck the hole, not to jump over. You jumping over the hole, what happened to the next person? What happened to the blind person? Are you accepting for this person to jump in the hole? And you're going to jump over because you have the ability to jump. But what happened to other Liberians that do not have the ability to jump over this hole? And these ladies are telling us, we're not only going to not have people to dig holes, but we will plug and fill these holes so that every Liberian can cross over this hole without hindrance whatsoever. Folks, I thought that was wonderful. And she did it. She did it. Without even thinking twice. Once the poor, this is another thing here. The ability for this young lady to trust the poor workers, to trust the supporters, was imaginable. I mean, it was way beyond belief. Because once the poor worker told her, this is not looking good, she said, fine. Because she already knew exactly. She conceded. Any other person, they want to go to Supreme Court. She didn't waste Liberian people money. She could have done that. Challenge, she had money. pay a lawyer drag the thing to court. In the meantime, no representative representing District 15. She didn't do that. She politely stood up and said thank you to the supporter. She didn't even mention the fact that she almost got killed. She didn't mention the fact that people were carrying her a casket with her picture on it. She was traumatized that particular time. As she's young, for Christ's sake. If this is how we're going to treat our young people in Liberia, we're going to say we jump over nothing, Samson Toll say. So I want to thank this lady to tell her thank you very much, Madam Yuri. You have shown us in the groom. We're supposed to be the grown people in the room, but you showed that we're not even grown. We're fighting over eraser. And you came in the room and said, okay, I will be the grown up in this room. Let me show you how this thing's supposed to work. And you demonstrated that. What else can we ask? Thank you. Thank you. Your time will come. There's nothing to be ashamed of being loose. You didn't lose nothing. If anything, Madam Yuri, you gain a lot. You gain by this election result, you gain a lot. You gain in the eyes of the international community. You gain in the eyes of most fair-minded Liberians. You gain. And it will come back to pay you handsomely. There's no question asked. You will get rewarded, madam. And I want to thank you this evening, Samson Toll, but I'm not making this as my main topic tonight. I'm just excited to see a young lady not dragging us through the court. She has the money. So she would have been the lucky that I mean. You spoil my car. You want to kill me. You're beating my people. Then I say, I win. I'm going to court. Especially if I got money, I will drag. I don't care. What just I will drag everything in the court. You see, our Samson Toll minds worked far from this lady. And I'm not the only person. There are many Liberians that would have taken this route, knowing full well there was nothing to be achieved except to waste Liberian people money and waste their time. But she stood on top of the mountain and said, here I am. Let's move on. And I want to thank God this evening, folks. I want to thank this young lady. Every one of us, we should put our hands around and say, thank you, madam. You did a wonderful job. In fact, and after this one, I'm putting my foot in my mouth. But so what? I'm cool. I can put my foot in my mouth anytime. If I was CDCians, I will recruit this lady to join us. CDC, bring this lady on. And this lady, once CDC is successful bringing her on, she could be the face. After Dr. Weir, she could be the face of CDC. Because she has established herself. Let me not push myself. Let me not push my luck too much on this one, folks. Samson Toll. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Madam Yuri, thank you very much, madam. We appreciate it. If you think that on a very serious note, what you have done, you have demonstrated to us, those of us that got ladies, girls, still in school, that maturity doesn't have to come when you're 80 years old. Maturity can find its level once the person who is to be mature or who is going to be mature accept the fact that maturity is within them. They can demonstrate that easily, and you just show it to us. Thank you, madam. We appreciate it. Let me go on, folks. My topic here tonight, though, is about war crime court in Liberia. It's a very, very dicey one, folks. Samson Toll, LIBERIA Public Radio. And I ask all of you that are listening and perhaps going to be participating by writing on my post and what have you, let us be respectful to each other. Let us don't call names. These are discussions that we need to have in order to move this ball forward. Liberians all over now are asking for war crime court. And I'm asking this question, are we prepared for it? Can we do it? And in fact, I also say there's nothing here now to stop this war. This train is nothing going to stop it. There will be a war crime court in Liberia. One way or the other. There will be an economic and war crime court in Liberia. There's nothing going to stop it. However, we as a citizen of the nation of the Republic of Liberia must engage each other to make sure that the discussion of the war crime court is carried out fairly. And that's going to be a daunting task. Look at just the election that passed. Look how much violence was involved. And you're talking about people's lives that are going to be at stake. The victim, you're going to bring the memory of the victim back all over. Other people will say you're going to traumatize the victim all over. What's about the perpetrators themselves? Who are they? What was the reason? Are we prepared, my fellow Liberians? Are we prepared to deep into it? Before I go on, let me just show you something else here, folks. Samson told Liberian Public Radio. It says here, without justice, our wound cannot be healed. Many Liberians, victims of the war, are crying out for this particular process. Crying out daily for the particular process, because some of them, how big is Liberia? And the war was brutal. The war was brutal. I mean, there is no village, except that village has not been established, except the village was not established during before the war. But any little village in Lofa County, Grand Jide, Nimba, Bon County, River G, Maryland, Sino, Grand Bassa, Cape Mark County, Mosorado County, and all of, I'm not going to name all of them, but there is no village that is left unscathed. Every one of us that are alive today knows somebody who has a family member or someone died in this war. So there is nobody that will say we were not affected. The war was brutal. During the war, we from the Toll Town area, we have a system here led by Mr. James K., who was here, and then another gentleman, Harry Bajbo, who was in Liberia at the time. He used to compile lists of boys, women, men from Toll Town that died. Every week, he would send a list. And Gene would, at that time, there was no cell phone whatsoever. But he would call line. He would call each of us and say, oh, this person got killed. Oh, this person got killed yesterday. Oh, this person got killed yesterday. And this was ongoing stuff. So I'm just giving you an example. So I'm sure that particular process was not unique to Toll Town. It was all over. So this war that happened to us was deep. It affected all of us emotionally, psychologically, financially, everyone. Devastated. Yeah, brothers and sisters now, to say there's a peace now. But we want justice. We want justice, which is, that's how it's supposed to be. If you commit a crime, or if you commit any kinds of act against another individual, that person must have the right to test your act against them through the court of law. And if the person prevails, you pay for it, no matter how the system set up for you to pay. And folks, this is why now most Liberians are talking about the war crime court. It's going to come. There is no question asked. 2 years ago, people were debating, but from what I've been reading lately, and that's what I try to stay away from these Liberian politics, election, and what have you, and focus on this. I'm going to be focusing on this for a while. I'm going to try my best to have some guests here that I'm going to be inviting from time to time to have this discussion, because I think it's very important. The fact that we all know this thing going to come. Let us try to prepare ourselves. Let us try to prepare ourselves. How do we deal with this? The effect, the emotional effect, how do we deal with it? What process? I'm not a lawyer. So this is far more than just standing out here tonight or sitting out here tonight. We want war crime court. These people must be punished. That's fine. We agree. But are we prepared? Whatever comes out of it. And then you say, Mr. To, what difference does it make? People died and we're still alive. Yes, I agree. Good argument. But then my argument also is, what getting out of us. I'm not saying we shouldn't have it. Let us get that point clear. I am for war crime court. But my question that I'm asking, are we prepared? And if not, why can't we engage each other and try to educate each other? How and when and what we should be expecting. The expectation factors of this war crime court has not been explored. We must deep into it. Folks, this is Samson to Liberian Pub Radio. This is not easy subject matter. Okay, let me go on to the next. Let's go on to this senator. Like I said, this thing is far from not being. I mean, it's already set. Okay. Here is a senator, Senator Cooper. And those of you that know Senator Cooper and know the history of Senator Cooper along with the war and things like that, you know what I'm talking about. But let's look at Senator Cooper engagement quite recently. Okay. And let me read this. This is coming from Front Page Africa. It's okay. The future. Okay. Let's go first to the title. Captain Marler and war victim lawmakers support establishment of war crime court. They're talking about the captain himself. Okay. The future of the war crime court lies in the hands of lawmakers. In part 2 of this, okay, blah blah blah. But let's go. Oscar Cooper and Ivan Jones are lawmakers. Who are sharing the future of Mount Gibby County, but they both play different role in the bloodbath. Okay, Cooper supported a warring faction during the first phase of the war. Okay, so you know that he's not quite removed, and just like him, many of us supported one way or the other, some faction. But now what he's saying, that he wants to have I feel nobody should go away with impunity. This is Cooper now. Even myself, and I have nothing to fear about the coming of the war and economic crime court to Liberia, because I know I have not violated any human rights, and I know I have not committed economic sabotage, and I will be willing to put myself up. That's Honorable Cooper. Let me read something else again. Let me go another person. And all of these people are now beating the drum for war crime. This is a senator. Let's go to another person, folks. Samson to Liberian Pub Radio. Okay. This is going to be Mayor Kochi. Mayor Kochi, and I think his case was rattled by that lady's statement, I believe it. And so perhaps to get himself out of that dilemma or whatever he found himself in, he decided but he's always been in support of the war crime court in Liberia anyway, that I know. Okay. Mayor Kochi. Okay, let's go to Jefferson Coach, Mayor Coach. Jefferson Coach, joint call for war, economic crime court in Liberia. Okay, and he's also arguing that there's no reason that he should not support war crime court in Liberia anymore, because at one time he himself, he said when he was in opposition, he was in support of the war crime court. I'm showing you all of these things. The drumbeat for war crime court is getting louder. It's going to happen. And if you remember quite recently, Senator Johnson, who is the senior senator from Nima County, Prince Johnson, said that people been threatening him with war crime court. This thing is coming. But the question is, are we prepared? And if not, what can we do to prepare ourselves? And then, like I said, I'm going to do my best here to invite lawyers, those who want to come on my show and have this conversation. We will. Okay? So the question then is, if we're not prepared, what do we need to do? How do we get ourselves into this? Now, you know fully well, this thing is going to go to these people. The judiciary going to be part of the process. The law of the Republic of Liberia is going to be part of the process. So do we get them involved now? I don't know. Let me just show you something else. Okay, this is the most important one. This is the most important one as far as I'm concerned, as Liberians. The war crime court that every one of us are claiming about, is it justice or politics? Now here they say justice, not politics. There are people who are saying this is not political. It is simply asking for justice. I agree. But do we have the manpower to go into this? Do we have the will to invite these people in? Here's the interesting thing about this. Most of the people that were involved in the war that we can count, they are in leadership position. How then do you dissuade these people to accept your argument for justice? And these are Liberians. Do you dislodge them out of your position? What means? Constitutionally, they were elected. How do you go about it? So many questions, my brothers and sisters. But these things can only happen, truthfully happen, if we decided, we, the Liberian people, say this is what we want, and we will do it. Now you have a choice, my opinion. You can do this fairly, or you can go about it by throwing numbers at it. Say, I don't care what happened. We're going to put it to vote. And since I got the numbers, we're going to win anyway. Yes. But at what cost? You're winning. At what cost? So you cannot approach this thing through political means. It must be seen. It must be seen by all Liberians and even the international community that you are going after this because of justice. That you are not going after it because somebody who is you is a senator and therefore you want that senatorial position, but the only way you can get that person is by throwing him or her into the mouth of the justice system in Liberia, whereby making him weaker. He can never function if he has to go through the justice system because of war crime court. That's politics. You don't want that. Another thing that you want to make sure you stay out of is by guilt based on association. Folks, this is deeper. And all of these things that I'm saying, they're not far removed from Liberia. We know who we are. In fact, that was one of the reasons why the war was so deadly. The war was so bad. Because we associate people with certain group, And therefore, since that group is this, therefore, there's no distinction. That person did this because he used to walk with him. Oh, something to going around here shooting people and things like that. But ain't somebody ever walking with, yeah, he's a friend with him now. Oh, you part of it. Because he can only be friend with me since if he wasn't part of that, he can't be friend with me. Those type of logic, they're prevalent in Liberia. Those type of logic, they're all over the country. And we Liberians, if we really want to do this, we must do everything in our power that this thing must be fair, truthfully. Because you're not fighting war anymore. This is what we need to get to understand. Because during the war, during the Civil War, it was might survive. The person who can do the most killing, you stay alive. Not anymore. You're asking the justice system to take over. You're asking for justice. It's not how many guns you're carrying. It's how do you prove your case against certain people within the community. And these are Liberians. You're not yet the other one, yeah? You pull road, pull bush, pull, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Who among us that will say, I am completely removed from the Civil War? It is not my argument against the War Crime Court. In fact, I am for it. But I'm arguing that we as a citizen of this country must do so first with respect of the rule of law. Second, the individual that we're going to be accusing, the individual that we're going to be dragging in front of this court, if it happens, that person's rights must be respected at all times. No envy of somebody because he got money and you don't know how you got the money. The man you were poor 10 years ago. After the war, you became rich. How you got the money? He must have committed some crimes. You can't do those kinds of stuff. Because here's the interesting thing. If you do these, okay, one of these days, the truth will come out. And the person you have accused might not even be involved. And what happened to the house of cards? Once you have fault in one of them, the faulty part, it starts crumbling. So we have to really have the clear understanding. We must have a discussion, please. And the discussion must be in these type of setting where those who are arguing for war crime court convince us, come and convince. We're convinced already, don't get me wrong. But give me more than that. And let me push myself a little bit here, folks. And I say it again. I'm not far removed. Quite recently, I show you my older brother picture. Robert Toll, the one who used to sing for I.E. Barrow. Specifically Barrow. Mighty Barrow. He went across the bridge because he knew very well that he was not part of the whatever that was happening. That he never harmed anybody. He was a singer and everybody knew who he was. So he decided he was going to go across the bridge to look for food for his family. He said, I'm going to go with only t-shirt on. Because if I don't even wear, if I wear some of the things that I get, weapons, something like that, and people were stopping him. He said, these people, most of the people across the bridge, they know who I am. I played with some of them musically before. They know me. He got across the bridge. They killed him. Why? Because he was a crime man. Simple. Nothing else. Nothing else. So I'm not sitting here tonight to say, oh, I'm pure. No. I was affected. And like many Liberians, every one of us have our own stories. But if we're going to do it as a country, because these are kinds of stuff that continue to weigh us down, my people. Because of these kinds of stuff, the developmental agenda are not fully carried out. Because we have the hidden agenda among ourselves. So somebody is trying to do things for the community. And say, hey, but man, you should kill somebody. What are you doing now? Because of that kinds of belief, we will try to do whatever it is to cripple ideas. So once again, I'm asking every one of us, if we're going to get into this war crime court, we must approach it with care. With care. I'm not afraid of Prince Johnson threats or what have you. That's not even my concern, folks. Because Prince Johnson's a man. Everybody's a man. Man. He kill people. People kill people too. So that's not the issue. If Prince Johnson thinks that because war crime court is coming to Liberia, he's going to form another group to come and attack, so be it. There will be people in Liberia who will say, no, enough is enough. I already have property here. I'm going to protect my property this time around. I'm not running away. And there are many Liberians here in the diaspora that continue to build. You think they're going to sit here while you go around damaging because they want to bring war crime court, and you think you don't want to prevent it by going around damaging people's property? They're coming. They're Liberian. You're going to stop them? So please spare me about the threats and what have you. That's not my concern. My concern is the future psyche of our people. Because if this thing is not done correct, if it's not done well, it's going to affect us again. I'll give you an example. Folks, Samson told Labrampa, let me take a drink here a little bit. So, you know me now by now. During the coup, I was involved. There's no hidden secret about it. Not personally, but you know what I mean. But I'm not going to go into it. And it was time for me to leave. At first, when it was suggested within my family that because my little brother was involved, heavily involved into the coup, there was a suggestion that we both cannot stay in Liberia. Because if something go wrong, both of us are going to be wiped out and nobody will be able to take care of our mom and father or the brothers and sisters. So it was decided, okay, since you already have high school, you just graduated or getting ready. Well, never mind. But anyway, you already almost done. You go to the state. I said, fine. At first, I didn't want to do that because how can I leave Moga? How can I leave EJ Raw? Before the coup, I was enjoying myself. I was one of the big boys in Monrovia, big boy in the grown-up sense. But now I'm supposed to be there now to enjoy myself. Everybody, I didn't want to leave. And my uncle called me and said, "Look, this thing is not going to end well." Uncle Paiboto, okay? He told me that. He said this thing is not going to end well. If I were you, your brother is already here. He's stuck. He can't leave. And all of these people you're watching here, nobody will survive this thing, he said. God is my witness. But I never understood it like that. He said, let me just tell you. You just take, for example, somebody decided to come to Town. Put me on a pole, put your uncle Cheryl on a pole, put your father on a pole, put your uncle Kay on a pole, and decide to shoot us. But because you don't have gun, you think you're gonna forget it? The Congo people the people say they're running after, they will come back. And when they come, they're not gonna come with clean hands. So if I were you, I would leave. I'm not even asking you. You have to leave. God is my witness. And this is how he put it in our dialect. And those of you that can understand the Crown dialect. But before I go into the dialect, back in the countryside, when you're planting rice, they have rice that you plant to eat. Then they have rice that you plant again tomorrow. To call. Okay? So he's saying to me, your brother and the rest of the PRC, they are the food for eating today. If you leave, you're going to be food for planting tomorrow. It didn't make no sense to me. I wanted to stay in Monrovia and enjoy. To be honest with you, I was forced out of Monrovia, to be honest with you. It's not like I was happy. But anyway, that's a long story. But anyhow, the point that I'm making here is this. There were people among us in the society that knew exactly that what happened in the 1980 coup was never going to be peaceful. So here we are. We're going to have to do this thing so we don't have to repeat. So that the future generation will be able to stand on something to say we did it. You're going to go bring somebody to the court to justify themselves. Why were they involved? Mind you now, and we all know this, many of the perpetrators themselves, where they themselves were victims. They themselves were victims. People keep talking about Prince Johnson killed and Prince Johnson did this. I don't agree with Prince Johnson. The justice should do its work. But let me ask you this. The Prince Johnson get a one money. Whether in your country or whatever, he got a woman. You know what? Their country is too good. I went damage it. I went kill people. Is that how it happened? Let's go with Dr. Bullet. The man that I know very well. When Dr. Bullet came to Monrovia in the 70s from the United States, were working for Madam Butter Baker Azanko, the first position he had was on our department. And I told you this story before. I was in Monrovia, Madam Baker Azanko, who was like a mother to me, was teaching me to get out of the street. And I wasn't listening. Until she brought Dr. Bullet in her office and invited me. Say, you don't want to do school business. You see that man, he got PhD. That crime man. The only crime man that I knew in Liberia at that time, the whole of the country, what Dr. Troboba had. Nobody else. I said, there ain't no other crime person here in Liberia that had PhD. And you know what Dr. Bullet said? You don't find the sweat that was all over me. A crime man, PhD. I can't be the nightclub business anymore. I have to change. So back to Dr. Bullet. I saw him. He didn't have any kind of violent tendency. With Minister of Education that he was working at the time. Assistant Minister for Instruction. There's no violent tendency that I saw. How did he end up being ahead of a faction group to kill? What was it? What happened? What happened from somebody being this peaceful to somebody in charge of violence? Are we prepared to ask these questions? Are we prepared? What happened? What happened? And those are the kinds of questions every one of us. If we're going to be the war crime, economic sabotage, whatever they come here, and not staying. But if we're going to be doing this, we must do it with respect. We must do it with respect for one another. The time of war, I've been saying this now for almost 10 years. Civil war is over, but the intellectual war is still going on. The competition among us is stiff, positively now, but it's very stiff. So we have to understand what exactly are we getting ourselves in. Are we going to go with justice, or is it going to be a political event? And Dr. Weir and his people continue to argue. And that, for me, their argument for me is flawed, to be honest with you. It has no standing, in my opinion. They're arguing, why is it when El Mill were here, when Madam Salif had all of the security apparatus here in Liberia, you ain't bring a war crime. Now we ain't got nothing. It doesn't matter. That kind of argument, Dr. Weir and your people, it doesn't matter. If Liberians said this is what they want, once again, I'm saying that again, I told you the last time, Dr. Weir, to get ahead of this peaceful demonstration. I'm saying it again tonight. This thing is coming. Stay ahead of it. As the leader, the father of this nation, lay out the groundwork, what you want, what you expect. If you don't stay ahead of it, and advocacy and all these people comes and establish that, your role will be diminished. Your role as a leader will not be respected. To be honest with you. So you have to step ahead of this thing, knowing fully what is going to come. Knowing fully what this thing going to come. Stay ahead of it. Set the pace of how this thing's supposed to proceed. Spend some money. Train people. Witnesses that are going to come forward. What type of question you're going to ask a witness without traumatizing that person? What is the role of the court? It's the court system. Have you talked to the judiciary? Have you talked to the Supreme Court justices? How are they prepared? Just recently, they didn't even have money to pay their own folks anyway. So this thing must be under your guide. Other than that, your role as a leader in this particular aspect will not be respected. I'm just giving it to you as it is. So again, once again, folks, this is very, very, very important. How we start this process will make people to judge us for who we are. There's people cussing each other on Facebook now. If wait till the time comes. And the cussing that will be on Facebook will be more. If Facebook can even help us and say, anybody Liberian, you speak Liberian, they will block you. That will be helpful. Because just imagine a village like Mwenpliwe, and you're going to get 15, 16 people from Mwenpliwe to come and face justice because they have committed, according to you, have committed some crime. Is it not possible? Is it not possible that a whole household, a name, a family name, you out of that family name, you have 4, 5, 6, 7 young people, old people being involved in trying to answer questions? Is it not possible? Well, what happened in our country? Are we prepared? How do you do it? What if the whole family decided, no, we ain't going nowhere, can't get us? Do you have the apparatus to go and get them without getting involved into violence? How do we deal with this? This is much, much, much more powerful, folks, than us sitting down here. Yeah, this. They must be punished. I agree. There's no question asked that we are asking for justice. But remember, justice is blind. And that is the process we should approach. We should approach it with open heart to everyone. I give you, folks, these are things that they're difficult to talk about. And I'll just give you an example. Years back, there was a story that was running around the internet that certain member of the crime community committed crimes during the war, put babies in the well, and what have you. You ask, where is the well? There's nothing to be shown. But the people continue to write about it. And those are evident now. That will be against the particular group. Because it's in the book. People have written about it. They can go and bring those papers up and say, this is my evidence, my evidence, my evidence. Now, you're asking, with all these things that have been written, that person now is going to be charged that he or she is now responsible for what has been written. So we cannot just run into this thing here overnight. Let us start the process of educating each other. I'm not saying that I have the answer. Far from it. Far from it. But what I think happened to us, and this is going to come back to hurt us if this process of the war crime code, which I believe strongly is coming, if it really takes roots, this is what's going to hurt us as a people, as a group, as Liberians. You remember TRC? They were asking people to come forward and explain themselves. Most of the people, if you listen, then they have the record to show. But if you listen to most of the participants, they were there to glorify themselves. They were there to play the hero that they saved group. They did this and did that. Without me, that whole group, this whole ethnic group would have been wiped out. So I have to come in and make sure they survive. That was the kind of statement that was happening. There was one or two who came out. And he was specifically Joshua Bly, I think his name was, where he admitted killing so many people. Liberians began to ridicule him. How one person can kill that many people? Oh, yeah, they're not truthful. But he didn't come out to defend himself. Even if he didn't believe his story of killing that many people, he didn't come out defending himself. He came out, whether it's one person he killed, but he came out asking for forgiveness. And many people came out on that stage. Not once did they admit to doing wrong. In fact, the former president told us, if you want to know my part in this civil war, wait for my book. Am I making it up? Okay. So there, we have to understand. Now, we're asking for war crime court. These same people, if they're still alive, most of them will be called back. And these words they were using would go against it. Is it now that they're going to come and apologize to the Liberian people? What kinds of system we're going to be setting up in the first place? Is this a system where they're going to be found guilty and then be punished? Or is this a system when they apologize and take responsibility that we're going to forgive them? Yes. Yes. These are very, very difficult times. So by me sitting down here tonight making this comment, don't take me to say, oh, he's against. Don't do that, your Liberian thing, you manipulate thing because somebody says something, ask question, and you don't understand the question, immediately you say, oh, he's against. And you do that, you're fooling yourself. I'm just putting these questions out. And I'll do my best to continue to talk about this. And I will, like I said, try to invite people. So, folks, Samson told Liberian Public Radio, let me put my number out. So you can give me a call. It's very important if you care to discuss it. Give me a call, and we will have the discussion. But these are few, and I'm not alone. I bet you there are many Liberians who have questions as well. So there will be asking, and there will be asking questions. And so please, if they ask question, if you don't understand their question, just ask them to repeat themselves. The time when the story that I just told you about baby being thrown in the well, it was like a civil war all over on the internet. Insult. Folks, I've been around. Insult upon insult. All over. But those things are now records. Because once you write something, you put it on the internet, you can't take it back. Those things are now records. These lawyers will now try to decipher which one to apply and which one is not good. So, once again, we're going to be judging. Once this thing takes root, we're going to be judging our brothers and sisters. People you grew up with. People you play football with. Some of them you ate from the same pan with your hand. Some of them you swallow dema with them. Some of them you swallow fufu with them. Some of them you eat palmata with them. It's everywhere. Everywhere. I give you I'm not going to give. I have so many examples I can give. Just from within town. I will give this one for sure. I have a cousin. Two of them, two cousins. One is my auntie's son, the other one is my uncle's son. And they both were in the army together. But because of the wrangling between my father and Doe, my father has always been accused of this and whatever, what have you. So during the height of the war, the army told my father, don't leave town until we decided we're going to leave together. True story, folks. At the my father said almost at the end, when everybody was running, people were leaving, he couldn't leave. So what it did was, it's okay, those of the men that in here will give you a gunshot. So my father said he has his own gun, but he didn't have a gunshot. He didn't have a bullet because they didn't want to give him bullet because of his connection and the issue he had with those. So the people said they might not give Bronto any weapon. Anyway, so he was there. True story now. He was there. He wouldn't have a single barrel. So the people came and started sharing guns, bullets around, the gunshot, boss shot, the one that goes through like that. But anyway, so when it got to him, they gave him one. So he asked the guy, he said, everybody getting 2, 3, 4. Why are you giving me one? And the reply was, if things get tough on you, shoot yourself. When he told me that, just about that, my reaction, that's it is now. When he told me, I was laughing. So my mom said, why are you laughing? I said, it's just funny. Everybody running away and they say he can't run. But here's the issue with the two cousins of mine. One of them, make sure my father didn't leave. I don't want to go into too many details because other family members would know this story and I don't want people to call me and what have you. But anyway, the other one, he went and said, told my father, said, you got to leave now. My father said, people say, I said leave. So my father said, okay, just because my father didn't want to leave at the time, he said, he tried to convince this other cousin of mine to say, I got too many things, I can't leave. So he said, I got dresser here. So the guy took his gun, shot all the dresser and everything, the door, everything, he shot them up, shooting. He said, I say. So my father said he took it serious. And that was the only reason why he left town. So, folks, this is not something that some of us take lightly. You got these kinds of stuff in my own family. And these two gentlemen, these two cousins of mine are still alive. When I went home, I went to the other cousin who was telling my father he can't leave. I went to his house. I ate from his house. His wife cooked. I ate. He's my cousin. But do you think at the back of my mind that particular story have gone away? No. But I must be man enough to say he's my cousin. And so these are the kinds of things you're asking by this war crime court. You're asking Liberians to put a lot of stuff in the back of their mind to say, yes, things going to be fine. But you have to do better than that. Try to reassure Liberians that things, even though this is not things that will come lightly, but if it comes, you will be fine. We need to preach that message. Let me open the line, and those of you, if you have question or comment, we will take that. And go ahead and give me a call. Samson to LIBERIA Radio. I think my phone is set. If you want to give me a call, give me a call. And then we can go ahead and talk about it. Let me just read a few of these people's lines here. Okay. While I'm waiting for they calling me. I did. Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. What's your name? Where you're calling from? You're on LIBERIA Public Radio. Are you calling to discuss this issue here tonight?
Yeah, definitely. My name is James Momo. I'm calling from the state of New Jersey.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Momo. Thank you for joining us. What's on your mind?
Well, the issue you raised on your platform is very critical, and I think as Liberians are really missing a lot of steps regarding this whole war crime court. I mean, who is really, when you look at it, the conflict that took place in Liberia, who is really not part of it? We all participated directly or indirectly. You know, in as much that I'm not against the war crime court, like you already said. But these are things we have to look at the fundamental aspect of the whole war crime court. You know, who should be investigated, who should be held accountable. Not every Dick, Tony, and Harry should be, involved in this whole thing as I see it. You know, I'm saying this like Edmund Taylor. There's a guy who they call Captain now who's running around, a man who is alleged to have been a sympathizer of Yumoke in Liberia. Is the one running around the world pointing out people, this is the person who was part of it. And people are being picked up and arrested around the world and detained. But these are men who is a sympathizer of Yumoke. And the facts are there. So these are things that are happening where a lot of people let us create it. These people will be brought to justice. I agree. But when you look at what happened in Liberia, like you said, everyone was basically protecting their own tribes because of the atrocities that are being committed. And these are things that happen. And it is coming to the point where people must come out and really just say, look, I did this thing, I'm guilty for it, but this is what I learned into it. And we move to another stage where a lot of these people are being used by the international community that want to use Liberia now as a scapegoat to get thousands of dollars of their own and leave us in jeopardy. They are the same people. And I'm saying, Mr. Toh, they are the same people that facilitated the killing of our people. They are the same people. They're not different people. How you think Johnson took jail and went to Liberia and went to Libya for the war? We all know how Yumoke entered Liberia to ECOMO. We know it. And it was through the facilitation of the United States. Those fights are there. You see, so when I hear people talking these things about war crime court, are you there?
Yeah, I'm listening. I mean, like I said, these are emotional subjects, so we don't try to interrupt when somebody is speaking. So quiet.
So when I hear people talking, this and that, it bores me because a lot of these people who are talking do not even know what happened in Liberia. They didn't know. In as much, I'm not supporting Prince Johnson, but the Bushel Island was a place where people went to refuge. You are protecting government officials. Okay, so when you look at Prince Johnson's participation in the war, there are some extent to which where he basically became part of the peace process prior to the killing of Day, which was very, not for me, was not very good. So these are things. No, I'm not. So these are things that are happening. These are things that happen in Liberia that we all need to just, like a country, like a society that is still going through the process of, rehabilitation and all of that. We need to make sure that this thing is done right. Like you said, because if we do not do it, it will cause more harm than good. And the thing is, Mr. Toh, why do you think people go through rehabilitation? In a scenario like that, you get rehabilitated because they want to, detraumatize you from what took place. And there are people in our country, even though they took part in the war, today they are peaceful citizens. They are contributing to society. So will we now go behind this stuff? This is what happened, and we can hold you back and put you to prison because of what happened? We are not doing it, and we all know, Mr. Toh, we all know what brought the war in our country. We know it. There's nobody, nobody can come and tell me, say, I'm not took part in the war. The fact that you're going to demonstrate against the existing government at the time, to be overthrown or whatever the case is, you participated. You're not innocent to it. So again, these are my points, and in the friends and states, Liberia still has the resemblance of the first states. And we have to be mindful All of these people are advocating for war crime court. Most of them are not even in Liberia. They are not. They're not. They are not. Most of them did not even see what the war was. They did not test it. They did not see it. But they came to the United States today. They are advocating running all around the place. War crime court, because they want internationally trying to buy the national secrets. And for me, I'm a friend. I'm an African. I'm one of those that lived in Liberia in the war. We're all victims of it. But hey, the war has been going on for almost 25 years. We need to talk about rehabilitation. We need to talk about development. We need to talk about reconciliation. These are things that we need.
But then let me push you a little bit on this here as well. So then you're saying that there should be no war crime court where just how do you then dispense justice to those who have done wrong? How do you deal with that?
Well, here's the thing. For me, we should look at the major players of this war in Liberia. People who really, I heard you come and sitting there. Eddie Johnson Solistio is living, at peace in Liberia. We have George Bowler, who was, members of the, a rebel group. We are having all these major players of the war. Those are people that should come and give their account. Nobody just pick up a gun. There's a reason why they did it. There's a reason. Was the man village attacked? Was his family killed before, and drag him into the war? What really motivated this person to pick up a gun and say, I'm forming my own rebel movement? There were causes, there were reasons why it happened. Okay, so this is where I've seen, it's as much that I'm not against the war crime court. But those people who were the major players, the charter that you placed in today was a major player. These people should be brought in book and investigated. If they are found guilty, they should pay the price for it. But where we are working after everyone. Anybody who is, this man was a rebel. This person was a commander. We're trying to brag all these people and bring them back. I don't think that's the right direction. And again, I'm going back to the point. Kia Tamba, who is an investigator for the group that is really trying to push this war crime court in Liberia, he's not a victim of what happened. He knows that he was a supporter of the UK, and when the records are there, but he jumped out on the fence and said, no part of it. All because he had a problem with Charles against Liberia and he came to the United States. That's what happened. So today, he's benefiting from, what he's doing. He's living out of it and trying to, incriminate people. And those are things he's doing. And Mr. Toy again, in as much that I'm not against the war crime court, but the direction our folks are taking it is wrong. Liberia is still a fragile state. And we have, like you said, we have to be mindful on how to go about doing it in our country. There's nobody, look, honestly, nobody can come and tell me, say, I know what to fight in war. No. You may not have taken a gun physically. But your family, your brother or sister, your uncle, you've been part of it. You go in the street, they don't shit against the existing government. You're part of it. You went in to say, Monkey, come down. You said it. And those are all factors after the war.
Okay.
So then here we are.
Okay, I remember, my brother. Thank you very much. Like I said, this is not an easy situation that we're facing.
The thing is, Mr. Paul, I must commend you for raising the issue now. These are things that we all need to be talking about, debating, most of the time, because if we don't do it now, and things go wrong, those same people that are running around and under the protection of some international group that's fighting for justice and equality, around the world, they will run away and come to where they're supposed to be, and our poor people will be sitting on there running around and don't even know where to go.
Right. Okay, my brother. Thank you very much for your contribution. I appreciate it. Okay. Please, and like I said, I'm going to do my best to invite lawyers from back home, advocates from back home, to bring them on here so that they can give us some information, because we really need to know what exactly they're trying to achieve here. I'm sure justice is the end result, but what are the processes that they're going to put in place that will be able to guide all of us so that we don't fall into the same old trap like before. But thank you very much. I appreciate it, sir.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay. Again, folks, Samson told LeBron Pub Radio, give me a call. The other issue, as the gentleman were talking, I was just wondering to myself, this thing, we're gonna have to, because today the people are threatening Prince Johnson with war crime court, and so if we don't get your support, or if we don't get this is what's gonna happen. Who's next? Is that how you're going to go about governing? I mean, this is just something that I found a little bit unsettling. Let's put it that way. But anyway, Samson told LeBron Public Radio folks, I made my case. Let's hear yours. Okay. In the meantime, let me just play one more record here. This music I really like. Let's play this. And by the way, you can call me anytime. I will load the music and we'll talk.
Don't disrespect me because I get on papa. You will not disrespect because you see me the papa. Don't disrespect me because I get on papa. You will not disrespect because I will on donga. We not broken, but we can make it happen. We not millionaire, but we can keep it popping. We not broken, we can make it happen. We not millionaire, but we can keep it popping. Alcohol, alcohol, back then alcohol, alcohol, and the build is on me. Back then alcohol, 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 and the build is on me.
Again, folks, Samson told LeBron Public Radio. Give me a call here. Another thing that I'm going to try to push as I open this line of conversation is that we should try, and I think the young man expressed himself here brilliantly. I mean, there's no question asked. But I thought the other comment he made about bringing in people who he thought were responsible that are not Liberians, I think that kinds of topic, because if we do that, we're not going to stop, because there were people that were benefiting from the war. They were getting diamonds, they were getting timbers and golds and everything else. Some of them was getting it almost free of charge. If they bring in guns, they get more. So we ourselves, Liberians, we have to tackle this thing pretty much on our own. We have to take the foreigners out of it, except if the foreigner is heavily involved, who is like this gentleman said earlier, who is mainly responsible for certain things, yes. But to come and say, well, these people knew, they didn't do anything, or these people did this, that kinds of stuff, I think if we don't try that, we're going to muddy the water. So anyhow, this is Samson told LeBron Public Radio. Folks, they're on here now going to... Okay, it's almost time to get out of here. But once again, folks, let us try to be respectful to each other, because these kinds of things, the one thing I know for sure, it's not going to stop. This war crime court going to come. It's going to come. And what form, I don't know. But either way, it's going to show up. And what I'm trying to do now is to establish conversation with you, and I want your participation, because that's about the only way that we're going to be able to get information, not just coming here watching and making comment and things like that. Give us a call and express yourself, so your all brothers and sisters, those that perhaps are not even, that are just listening on the radio, that are not watching Facebook, will hear you. Okay, that's another thing that I want you to understand. All right. So these are important issues, and I will try my best to try to stay away from time to time. I will get into politics. This coming Wednesday, though, I'm going to go back into things that I do best and things that I know well, which is the role. Because I saw the video of people from my area, from Grand Gita County, going back to Grand Gita, and the situation was just bad. But a year ago, I was there in that same spot, and I want you to listen to the comment that I was making about that particular situation. What I knew very well that this thing was going to happen, because it was summer, and you will find out again when the sun starts shining back there, all of these mud would turn to dust. And the Liberian would go, oh, look at that dust from here to Grand Union will be dust. Those are the same dust that you're taking in now that you don't want to clean out of the road. Those are the same dust tomorrow that will turn to mud. And I explained that. But for some reason, our brothers and these are engineers. They are not people that are not aware of these things. They're highly qualified engineers. But why is it? Why is it that they're not doing it? And what I'm going to try to do Wednesday is I'm going to put a little bit of politics into it. I'm going to go and try to do. I'm going to try to do a research. How many percentage vote-wise that went to Madam Saliv 2005 from the southeastern side total? 2011 went to her total, and now how many percentage 2005 2011 that went to Dr. Weah as well, and then they icing on the cake of his winning process. Okay, so I'm gonna find that out. Let me take Mr. So, welcome on Liberian Public Radio. What's on your mind, son? I know you most likely been watching, and is there something you want to contribute here?
But what I want to say, it might go into your worker quota. Well, I don't know yet, but there's a specific reason for the call here this evening.
Yes, please.
Something I just want to announce here to your audience and folks that are listening. Almost like a week ago, Liberia Public Radio, in collaboration with Boiler's Room, we embarked on a special mission, having heard the story, the narrative of the students in the Kingdom of Morocco that have been sent there, as far as I'm concerned, for the good of the country. And the government was not forthcoming, but for the most part, we always have a blame game. But having heard the story, we at LPRL and Boiler Room came in later on. We decided to do the little we can to contribute to be an impact on national, because we see this as a national investment. And we made it crystal clear at the time that our mission was going to last up to the 30th of August. Now, today is the second. And so we want to announce, I've been talking with the student leadership from Morocco all evening. This week we're going to be coming up with a comprehensive report of our donors and people that have given and how grateful we are. And just a little write-up that I received from those students, they are very, very grateful and thankful to those. And there was some family who, besides money now, they are providing sponsorship. You and I know the semester began just here. It's the same way some of them are going to be transitioning to their different colleges, universities, to pursue their different studies in discipline. Those are technical areas. Some of them doing geology, pharmacy, engineers like you're talking. And so this is a national cause. But when it comes to really investing, to giving for national cause, this is where the disappointment comes in. And I've called, if not all, most of the county organizations here in the diaspora, including my own county organization, the Grand Unit Association. The very first thing that came from my president, but I'm waiting because, you know me, I'm not going to hold back because it's a disappointment. And this is where national government, we fail here, and that's how national government fails, because we refuse to identify orders of priorities. They have one students. We collected a complete roster, and I've distributed them for the most part to the county organization. Besides the national approach, so that they themselves, what's the purpose of having these organizations? To intervene, to help, to be a help. Some of them prefer to have scholarship programs in Liberia. But here you are, you have your folks from your county or residents from your county that are, with their excellent performances, they are on scholarship. And they can't even help. The NIMA group just called me that they are in the process for my own county. Grand Unit Association, the organization that profess to be the highest donors or in terms of funds collection conventions. Talk to my president. If we come to the Kentucky or raise money that we can give. But we are hearing that the organization is in the process of erecting monument. Are you killing me? I'm waiting for the board to get that approved. So if you, asking you, President, if you were asked today by George Weah, Do you want Grand Leader Road to be paid, or you want Muhammad to be in Grand Leader or Samuel Doe? What would be what would you consider as a priority? This is how failed leadership comes into being. And that's exactly what most of these organizations are doing here. And we're going to be holding them responsible of their failed policy, lack of vision, lack of sensitivity to happenings in your country. You have a student who is in a foreign land and you can't even sacrifice $100. Seriously? But we're going to be coming up with that comprehensive listing. But I'm just saying this to say that, look, it doesn't matter. We're poking the eyes of the government. These people that are here who are managing these organizations, and because of the lack of vision, they will leave from here and they will take these resumes and they will want to be leaders, they want to be senators, they will want to be representatives. And that's where we will come strong at them, because it is a disgrace that these students, we have people here, all of the 15 political subdivision, it doesn't matter what Helen Johnson sent these students, it doesn't matter whether it was George Weah. This should be seen as a national cause.
Okay.
And yet people are not sensitive to it, especially the leaders, and how you want the membership to follow. But we are grateful. The little that we raise, people that gave, we are appreciative to them. So we're going to make that, we're going to publish it. We're going to put that roster on the official website of the Liberia Public Radio. If we share it with front page, I'm going to talk to my colleagues there, daily observers. We'll talk to them, because this is a historic time, and this will set the mind. It will erase the notions of our brothers and sisters in Liberia that you and I, of course, that are in the diaspora, are not making meaningful contribution. Indeed, we are, even though that's not all, but we are. But I want to say this: anybody who still wants to give, the number is 682-433-8802. But we are compiling our official roster to let the audience, the general public, whether you give or not, to let them know whatever that you gave is being used for the purpose, and we're going to have that to the students as they are preparing for the academic semester.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. So. Appreciate it. Folks, tune in tomorrow for Mr. So Show, where he will be able to give you more information on that. He comes on Tuesday, Thursday, and sometimes Saturday. Okay, Sunday for sure. Okay, folks, Samson told Liberian Public Radio, I want to thank all of you again this evening who've been here with us. We started this thing for quite a while now. I want to thank you guys very much for tuning in to this program again tonight. It's been a wonderful, wonderful show. Our intent here is not to degrade. Our intent here is not to point fingers. Our intent is to see how best we can start the conversation, and hopefully the conversation will be helpful to the process, because that's who I am. This is what I'm about, trying to find means to be helpful to whatever process our people are facing. Again, Samson told Liberian Public Radio, I want to thank all of you again. Said, please let us be together. Let's listen to this as I take leave of you this evening. I'll be right back. Again, folks, Samson told Liberian Public. I want to thank all of you again for tuning in to Liberian Public Radio. Please let us do it again. Come Wednesday, it's going to be a different subject matter, but we'll continue to enlighten you, because this is what we do, and we do that good. Again, Samson told Liberian Public Radio. I will say good night to all of you. Please stay tuned for Mr. So Show tomorrow, and then, of course, Sunday, Freedom Watch, of course, from Mr. So, he will be on. But we'll be back here on Wednesday and try to give you some more information, specifically raw issue. And I'll show you some fixes and things. And I hope this time around the people will be listening how to fix these things, because I will not demonstrate, but I will show you the fixes, how you need, what are some of the things you need to fix them, and the process involved. Because I've done that before. I'll just play you a video that I did before and just play that. But anyway, Samson told LIBERIA, say good night and let's meet again. Please stay safe out there.
Karema TV, enana, monyo kabora kanama. Karema TV, enana, sono sere kanama. Bale gwi kuna, inana, bale wagi kanama. Baye jibo basogo, sagati go bale monyo basogo. Basogo, Zagati go, but I'm on your basogo. Tumoana, but I do more, or dancing on Tumoana, but I'm a git to Moa, I'm a yay boy, Onana ayama lokolo mwane sikolo mwa yepo zane gribu ya mure u lokolo